Yazma. Tika niye koruyor?
Is it better?
Okay, we try to. Oh, God, that's okay. We try.
Okay, what's going on, man?
What's up? Very happy to see you, my friend.
Good to see you too, my friend.
Let me say some things. How's about the condition in your country?
Well, in my country, you know, they opened a lot of states back up. One thing that we are fighting for is that a lot of these states are opening up, but these cases are rising in some of these states that's open. So,
Yes.
what basically, you know, with my profession, with the sports, we have a lot of a lot of sports facilities are starting to open back up, and but it's slowly but surely going to open back up. But right now, it's just in a condition of we don't know.
About basketball, what you learn? They continue the leagues or only the NBA?
Well, they're pushing to open the league back up, but we're in a state now of we just a state of uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen. So, they're working on that and trying to figure out, what the
Yes.
steps to be safe and how
All
we're
right.
going to.
We get one start. I try to represent my friend, Roland. He's one of the best agents in the USA.
Oh, I appreciate
He's involved with basketball, and we try to say about some things about his work and in general about USA. You play basketball when you're young. What you play basketball? What division?
Well, I started off in a community college, a little small community college over here in Alabama called Faulkner State Community College. I started off there, and then went on to a couple of. I had another couple more stops, and in college basketball to school called North Georgia, and then went to Stillman College and over there in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, as well. Um,
Like
so
high school, league, high school league.
not high school, it's college league, and here we
Ah,
got,
yes, college.
yeah, I don't know how y'all do it in Greece, but we have the high school level and the college level here. So I played on all ends. Very good high school team when I was back in high school. I guess 20 years ago, I believe. So
Yes.
how's everything? But the big question is, how's everything over there in Greece?
Greece, we improve a bit. Our condition, and we hope step by step to be better. But we still, have agony about everything.
Okay, okay, okay. So, what is sports open back up? What's going on over there? How's your business?
The professional leagues, they start to the soccer,
Okay, okay.
basketball. No, they finished.
Basketball's
They
finished.
finished.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
basketball. The professional leagues, they start training. and they hope to 7 June to start again to complete the league.
Okay. Okay. So in June they're going to complete the league over there.
Yes, and of course the teams that play in Europe, Champions League or Europa League, they must finish the league.
Yeah.
Because the sponsors and the league table, they have to complete for the next season.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And you play also professional basketball.
Yeah, I did a couple of basketball things professionally, but not in the NBA. No, none of that. Wish,
No.
but circumstances. That's a really tough league. Now that I'm in it, to that I represent people to go over there, it's very tough. You got to have the skill, and it's a big business. It's a big business, and it's just not anybody.
What is your good position?
What was my position?
Your good
Small
position.
forward. Small forward, power forward. Back when I
like
was
three.
Yeah, when I was in college, I played college and high school. I was a center my whole life, so because I was taller than everyone. So
of course. I see you are strong. I see you are strong. Maybe you must have a bit.
I wish. So tell me, as far as with your business, sports massages.
Yes.
Tell me exactly how important it is for athletes to understand. Because I know you got soccer players, you got basketball players,
and basketball players.
Yeah. So how important?
But yes, I try to change the mentality of the players to believe more, in the sport massage and the techniques and the apotherapy because it's very important. The most you go up the level, the most it's important. I make some good steps until now. I hope one day to complete my mission, and out of Greece, maybe. But now, the virus matter give us a bit of break to our plans. But I hope to continue the next season in the part that I left up. You see some videos about my work, and what you believe about my work quality and all that?
Well, I really, your work to me is very important. Most athletes don't know you can play the sports, but the after recovery is very important in being a professional. A lot of times when I talk to different players, we speak on the recovery of the players' bodies, how they feel, after the activities. So it's very important. It's very important to understand that massages, anything after recovery is very important. With your work, I see that you're talented and you did excellent in what you do. So, in Greece should be in Greece, what you're doing is a necessity and is really going to help build players to be faster, stronger, and think better when they have games and things of that nature.
You tell me because you see some video of me and remember before 1 year you make one try to some NBA in challenge. Can you tell me because I'm curious the story about that? So you believe it's the level was okay? It was enjoyed when they see my work.
Yeah, people enjoy your work. Your work, like I said, your work is very important. So, I think what you need to do is start posting more, post more of your work and letting people know, getting out there, networking with the right people. You network with me, network with other people that's in the business. It's very important. Your work means your work is a necessity for athletes and athletes' future. So, what you're doing is what you're doing is great. A lot of people that have seen your work said this is something that they need. You know, when you look into this, when you look into being an athlete, there's certain levels that you need to be at. Conditioning and mindset, and also recovery. And what you do is, what the recovery is a big factor in your life, in your business. So it's very important to that.
And before the game, right?
Mhm. And,
It's
and
very
also
important.
to get loose. People need to get loose, and what you're doing is stretching them out, massaging them to get loose. That's very important. So, what you do is a very important thing to athletes in all sports.
Oh, you go if you go some of my videos to a gymnastic in a club, and you say my massage is NBA level, uh, like this.
Yes, yes, they are. They are. Um, you know, uh, Whenever things change up, you need to look at avenue of getting to America and just letting people see your work. More people, the more you out there, the more people see your work, the better. The more you get recognized.
More popular.
You know, the same thing with me. The more people know what I do, the people will recognize me. And also, you use a lot of these business ventures as far as like LinkedIn. You use LinkedIn. Use professional networking sites, and that will connect you with a lot of people that can help you and lead you into the right direction.
It's so difficult to find the occasion in NBA. You think what you have to do to do that?
To find occupation in the NBA. Well,
Some professional chance, some like trial, to show your work in NBA is so difficult. What's the procedure?
well, it's really not even a procedure. It's so a lot of people try to do what you try to do, but what can
Yes.
you do? You have to know for a fact what can you do. What do you have that's better than the next person? You have to be better than the next person. Same thing as an athlete. If an athlete, you got soccer players, basketball players, all these different type of athletes that want to make a team or want to join a team, or if they're on a team, want to keep their spot on a team. What can they do to make themselves better? So every year, you got to do something that makes yourself above the crowd.
Education.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And because the players have drafts, have leagues, summer leagues. They show ourselves. I don't know what's a good way to do with my work. Like sport massage therapist. How you show your work in the teams, for example.
Well, that's a good question. Some of the things that you've been doing, these as far as these leagues that you in, because what did you win? What was that thing that you won?
I
Uh,
won the Greek championship of sport massage in Greece
mhm.
about massage. I have 5 positions in European championship massage
Mhm.
and in first 10 in the World Cup of massage.
Mhm. Things like that is very important. So if you do things like that, you keep doing things like that, that will get you known and let people recognize who Panos is.
Ah,
It's all about how you found me. How you found me, you
yes,
just
yes.
that's the same thing. You got to keep going. It's a grind. It's not. It's a hard grind, but if you stick with it, you'll be okay.
Of course, you have to be fight all the time,
Yes,
like the game.
like the game. Every minute, every time that you're sitting at home or you should be thinking something to grow your
Yes,
business. Yes. That's how
yes,
you do it.
that's the point, right?
Everything that you should be growing.
You have some players now have the, the future to play NBA now in your company.
Yes, actually, we have one player that's supposed to be going to the NBA. Uh, uh, his name is Freddie Gillespie. He's over there at Baylor, and he's one player that's supposed to be going to the NBA, and what we do is try to help make sure that he gets everything that he needs to
The best chance.
to get the best chance to make it. So, a lot of teams are looking at him, and that's just.
You said to me before, so to speak, you have organized in the company team to improve your players, your skills. Tell me about that.
So, what you mean, like to improve your skills?
Yes, I saw your company place. You have something like a small gym. You have make personal training to your players to improve the skills, dribbling or fitness. Huh?
Yes. So we do. Most of the players, they do camps. Training
Yes.
camps, things of that nature. So most of our players, we send them off to play in different type of camps and get training, skill training. So just like how each player has a massage. You go to you and use you after using massages and after they play and recover or before games. What we do, we send our players off to trainers to train for the NBA and make sure they have the skill set to compete with a lot of these players.
Personal training.
For personal training, correct.
To improve skills, to standards.
To improve draft stock. Exactly. Exactly.
You make scouting travels all the community, different countries of states of USA to see players.
Yeah. So with my company, yes, we do. We have scouts that's all over in Mississippi, Minnesota, over there in Atlanta. We have a lot of scouts that go over and scout players, correct? And and especially overseas, as you know, that I go overseas a lot to scout players as well. Mm-hmm.
So you collect information, and after you try to. Your mission is to take a player to invite him to go to the best team, or you like more to develop players.
Well, it's a combination of everything that you're saying. You try to get a player. So, for instance, in Greece, when you're in Greece, we're trying to get a player, try to develop him, or try to market him if he's already good to these teams. So it's just the process of all. Because you got players that come out of there all the time. Like one of your best players.
Of course. Of course, and of course I hope in the future to bring all to come in Greece and take one player to put into the NBA if you have the skills, or the opposite.
If they have the skills, I know if they have the skills, you're going to send one to me. and,
with mail.
They have. So they have the skills.
What's the difference you think about NBA basketball and European basketball? And what's the skills that one player in Europe has to can play in the college basketball first and then NBA?
Well, it's a different type of skill set. People play pro over there at the age of 16. They could be playing at the age of 16. Here, playing pro. They playing pro. Over here, there's a system. You go to high school. Now, pretty soon, it's going to be high school straight to the NBA, or it's high school straight to the G League, which is already happening. But over there, a lot of guys are trained on things that are more advanced than us guys down here because they're already playing with grown men at the age of 16, 15. So, it's different. So a lot of these guys are a lot better. Some not a lot better. I can't say that because, but a lot of these guys are on the same level as some of the guys that's here in the States because of the chances they got to play since they were so young.
So you think that the American basketball, it looks more the athlete skills or the intelligence skills. You know, for example, like Giannis, Antetokounmpo, or like Doncic. Because I think that players like Doncic, they don't have a lot in NBA fitness. I see now the basketball goes to more to fitness and power, you know, it goes and second to intelligence. What do you say?
I say both. A combination of intelligence and skill. A lot of these guys over there, a lot of those guys over there in Europe have a lot of basketball IQ, is what we call it, and a lot of scouts
Yes.
look for that. And you know, and the physicality of to play because they've been playing so long. So a lot of things is a combination of both. And think about it, and that's when you come in, where you keep them physical, you know, you keep them stretched, you keep them their bodies being managed, you keep all of that. So you come into play a lot with that.
So you think the future of basketball is in the future is close to Europe, or is the distance more far away? You are close day by day, year by year to European basketball or opposite?
Well, the future is that the NBA is going to keep growing. It's going to grow. A lot of players grew up watching. A lot of players over in Europe grew up watching a lot of NBA players, and that's why their skills the way they are. So the future is that the NBA is going to keep growing, and the NBA is going to get, is going to have teams. I say pretty soon. Just my thought. That pretty soon
Yes,
going to
yes.
have.
Your opinion.
Pretty soon you're going to have teams over there in different countries playing. Which is already happening, but have something affiliation with the NBA. And also, you got to think that the NBA has a league in Africa, NBA Africa. So the NBA is expanding. Yeah, the NBA is expanding. It's a lot of people watch and grew up on watching their players.
So maybe have in the future one European team goes to play in NBA, or China, because the money.
It happens. It happens now. They play them in preseason. A lot of European teams, or they come over and play some of the NBA teams in the summer. So that does happen.
Yes. You have a plan to make a travel in Europe to collect talents, or just to bring players? What is your vision in the future?
Well, the vision for my company and my company and myself, the vision is to bring players over from Europe into the America, and also bring players that didn't quite make it to the NBA, bring them overseas, which we've been doing. But we want to do it at a bigger capacity. So building relationships with people like yourself and people all over the world is going to help us be able to grow into the positions that we need to.
Of course. Can you give some advice for the young players now who see us in Europe, for example? What do you mean is the good steps for a young player to improve? What do you have to care about to improve?
Well, for young players to improve and trying to make it to the United States, to NBA, is to never give up on your dream. Make sure that, if you got something that you're sticking to it, you stick with it. I mean, there's been a lot of times where when I got into this business of trying to be a sports agent and being a sports agent that, it's going to be too hard, to give up on the dream. But, if you stick with it, even with you, Panos, you stick with what you're doing, everything's going to come true. So you just got to believe. You just got to believe everything that you do. If you pick up something, don't give it up. No matter if you got the support, no matter if you got support, you don't have the support, or if someone tells you that you're not good enough to play, that's not true. Make sure that you stay with something, and be able to stick with it, and don't care what anybody says. Just go after it, because there's been a lot of times that some of the best players that ever played we're told that you need to give it up. You need to do something else. You got to stick with it and stay in. If you give everything you got to what you do, it's going whatever you're doing is going to give it right back to you. So you just got to stick with it.
And then about Michael Jordan was not playing in high school.
Well, he didn't start playing. He got cut. He got cut in the 10th grade from his team. So 9th grade, I believe. It was 9th or 10th. It was one of those. He got cut from his team. He didn't give up. And guess what? He's one. You know his name. All the way in Greece, you know his name, Michael Jordan. You get what I'm saying? So
he's a legend. He's a legend.
He's a legend. So what you got to do is, no matter what people say, you always believe in yourself and believe that you can make it.
This is a motto, yes. About the way of training, what you believe that except that you have to grow up inside? What do you mean? What do you mean that the other things that you have to care about to go forward, like a young player?
What you put in your body. What you put in your body. You got to make sure you eat right. You think right. Because whatever you put in your body to make yourself at an elite level is very important as a young player. You can't go out there and eat. I know y'all got McDonald's over there in Greece, right? Can't go out there and eat a whole bunch of McDonald's hamburgers and say I'm going to be able to be a basketball player.
Yes.
And that goes with any sport for soccer players, because I know soccer is very big down over there too.
Yes, the same.
So it's all about what you put in your body for younger players, because if you eat all that now and you try to be a player, you might, there's be some cases you might do make it, but it hits you in the long run. So you got to watch out for those. Watch out for that. So that's very important.
Yes.
And you can say too. What do you think is very important for, recovery on the body? What's very important to you?
Of course, because I was playing soccer 25 years. Agree with you. You have to take care of your body and outside of your training, not only in training. It's a procedure all the time. Because your fortune is your body. When you want to be professional, your body is your fortune. Your body goes.
There it is. Your body is your fortune. That's a great saying. So that's very important when it comes down to being an athlete for most of these young kids out there.
Yes, I hope one day to make one massage live with some big player like Kari, and everybody goes and say how good it is or not. Just a target,
Exactly.
in the future.
Exactly. That's absolutely right. I mean, like I said, what you're doing is very important, and people will definitely need to know that what you bring to the table. And what you're doing over there in Greece is absolutely amazing. I just want to tell you that. But people, you just got to keep staying at it and getting to know more people. You say right now you're in Greece. Try to make it to London. Try to make each step that you make with your business, keep making it to a different country. And then you'll find you'll wind up in the NBA. You see, you played soccer for 35 years. You never gave up, correct? You kept playing, right? So
no, it's about love the game, the way of life.
Do you love what you're doing?
Of course.
So this is not a job to you. This is something that you love. So this is a career. This is something that you love. So if you love it, that's going to make you take it to higher steps. So what you do is you go to these different countries. You tell people exactly what you're doing. You let people know. So you're known in Greece. Get known in London, get known in Switzerland, get known all the countries that's around you right now. Get known in those countries, and by doing what you're doing, and you'll find yourself in the NBA, because it's not easy. It's not one day you talk to me. Yeah, I'm an NBA agent. Next thing you know, you're in the NBA. You're in the NBA. I got you with somebody that's in the NBA, and you can massage. It's not that easy. It doesn't happen that easy. It's all about the grind. But if you it's all the steps. Nobody. You can't teach a baby doesn't come out automatically walking. It has to crawl first. It takes the steps.
Yes, yes, yes.
There's no such thing as reinventing the wheel.
It's like Lord of Life. First you stand up, after you walk, and after you run.
Exactly. Look, be honest with you. When I started doing this, you know, I thought that I was going to be able to. I talked to two guys that was going to the NBA, their families, things of that nature. I had a couple of guys, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to have them. They're going to go to the NBA, and I just started. Oh, I'm going to have them. They're going to be great. I know I'm going to be able to get them. Turns out, no, that didn't happen. I skipped the steps. I didn't know the important things of what I need to know now. You know, it's still a grind. So I look at it like this. Now that how I recruit, I get five. I say you get 5 players. I talk to 5 players. One of them, yeah. If you talk to 5 players, one of them are going to say, "Okay, I'm going to rock with RJ Hofler."
It's about the percent.
It's percentage. It's a percentage game. So you go out there. You talk to 10 teams. You talk to 10 teams. 10 teams say, "Hey, let me show you my work." You're going to have one of them say, "Okay, I'll give you a shot." But it's all about how many people you can talk to.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Maybe it's like that because it's like to make a system in the game. You make 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 5 times. In the 6th time, after you make it to training, you will make it, but not the first time. Exactly. It's only luck the first time.
Exactly. But it could be discouraging to a lot of people that, you know, I mean, seriously, you know, I'm not saying that I can live off of, I have to take, but I had to do part-time jobs because it's just, you just, everything, you just can't say, some people just say, I give up everything and I'm just going to go for this. You can do that. But realistically is always to make sure that, you know.
But it's difficult. You have like a family and you have to have the balance.
You have to have a balance. Exactly. You're absolutely correct. Mm-hmm.
But you know, if you like, if you love what you do, and the problems you see it with a different point of view. Mm-hmm. If you go only from the money and you don't make fast a lot of money, you disappointed fast. Mm-hmm. It's two streets to follow while you're going. The left or the right. The left is the street of the money, and the right is the street that makes you love and you pull inside. You know, so much you pull inside, you take power to go forward.
It's all about how you look at it. So it's all about, you know, what's your perspective of looking at what you do. Is your perspective of trying to get fast money? I need the money now. I can't wait. This is something that I started. I need the money now. Or you plant a seed and watch it grow. And that's exactly what I should do in my business, and I've been doing, and that's exactly what you've been doing in your business. Plant a seed and watch it grow, because there's no such thing as overnight success. Unless you got a millionaire friend or dad or something like that that can just throw you millions of dollars. But there's no such thing as overnight success.
You know, in Greece, you have an old writer, wise, you know, traditional. They have stock stories called Aesop. They have a story about Turner and a rabbit. They make some running. I have some Turner in my home. The rabbit starts very fast, but in the end, the Turner just go first because the rabbit is tired. And one day I follow how the Turner works, you know, it's my garden. And I say, Panos, I found the solution to say, Panos. Finally, it's not slow, the Turner, but it's steady. All the time the same. Not fast and not slow, but steady. So if you make steady steps in your life, you have more hope to make something.
Exactly. Just slow, steady steps. You can make something happen. I mean, listen, man, listen. I have, Panos, before I started doing this, I had all sorts of doubts. honestly, I was very immature of how I started doing things. I was very immature. I had to learn, I had to reevaluate myself, and learn about what can I do different to be more professional in my life and in my career. Because I was doing things out of stupidity and not thinking in a childish mind instead of thinking in a more business-like mind. So a lot of things that I had to change and switch up on and understand. So when you understand, when you take the route of, like you just said, the tortoise and the hare, you can look at things a lot different and grow yourself if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, an athlete, and just understanding how things work in life
Yes.
instead of trying to move very fast and just trying to go for fast money instead of trying to plant a seed and just let it grow. A lot of times as a lot of times in this youth and watching in this generation and watching social media and things of that nature, people say, wow, you see a man with a $1 million house. Wow, I got to get that. I got to get that. Yeah, you can achieve that, but it's also you have to work for it. It's just
That's
nothing
right.
that's just you got to try. So what you're saying is very correct, and so it's just pacing yourself and understanding what you do is very important.
The point is that the power of your first step continue to the 10th step, be the same.
Mm-hmm.
That is a point. Don't let the 10th step is more or less from the first. But to do that, you have to have the vision the same from the start to the end.
Exactly. And what's
It's
your
very
vision?
difficult.
And what's your vision, Panos? What is your vision? What do you expect? What
Uh,
are you sending out there to grow?
my vision is in two, three parts. First part is to be the best in the world, my work, to have the best athletes in all sports and help them to make a good performance. After is the money. First is to be the best friend of all the athletes, to help them to go forward. Second vision is to be a member of a big team and make big achievements. In Europe, it's like Real Madrid. In soccer, like Inter Milan, like this type of teams. In basketball, it's good if I make something in except Europe in the NBA world. At the end, to try to make seminars with my style. So the sport massage be fun of sport massage different, and the sport massage take the value that he needs, that he deserves.
I understand. So when you talk about best in the world, that could be so vague. You gotta have what's your plan to what consists of being the best in the world? Because I could be the best agent in the world.
All
What's
right.
what's your plan to be the best
Uh,
person?
my plan is to start to cooperate slowly. That I do it now in Greece with some players, soccer, basketball, that is in high level. So in my future, I train myself. Players like Cristiano Ronaldo, like Messi, like Ibrahimovic, this type of players trust my work, and maybe one of them take me like personal sports therapist. And after that, I make the step to go into NBA to do the same. For Curry, for LeBron, for Nowitzki, for Giannis. I don't know, maybe. And and after everybody say that Panos is the best
Exactly.
because the player they make big performance.
Exactly. But
Not about the money.
it's never about the money. But what the first thing in order to be great at what you do, you got to make them trust you first. They have to trust
Yes.
Panos. They have to trust Panos. That's great. It's never about the money. They just got to trust you. So when you go out there and you talk to these people, that you mentioned all these big names like Giannis, LeBron, and all these guys. What about the small guy that you worked with and you was with him all the way from growing him up in a small league and all of a sudden he gets to the NBA? What about somebody that you picked out? Somebody that you picked out
My
in
my mentality is to work the same with amateur player, the same with Jordan, with Giannis, the same for me. Because if you don't be the same, you don't go forward.
Exactly. 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 Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. And you know, that's the key, just to be the same on everybody that you work with. Exactly.
You never forget where you start.
Never forget where you start.
Never.
Never, never. So, you know, so my question to you is
Yes.
what is a great for, say I send players over there to Greece. What is some of the things that in Greece that these guys can prepare themselves for? The culture. We all know it's a different culture change. But what's some of the things that prepare them for in Greece?
About sports, of course.
About sports, the culture, because got a lot of guys that I got guys that want to go to Greece, but at the same
Yes.
time they're scared because they're scared of the different culture and everything that's going on over there. What are some of the things that you say to be careful for, to not worry about?
The, the one thing that look what I see with my experience. Sometimes because this year I cooperate with American women also because I go to the women basketball professional team in Greece in first league. I have 3 women from America. KJ was one excellent player, was MVP of the championship. It was 2 white players, Nikki and Cassie. I think was from California. Okay, my experience say that if you want to go to Greece to play basketball, that don't forget that we respect American players a lot. Because we are always shopping in the market of America. For me, there is 2, 3 things you have to care about. You have to say to your players. First things that sometimes there is, small young players from poor families study and make some scholarship and to play basketball. Okay, and when we come in Greece with some good contract, and they say they have good way of life, some nightlife. It's very easy, and after 1, 2 months they stay here to involve with these things, and lost the target, about the season. This is very important because Greece and Spain, you have very good life, nightlife and wet life. And if you have a lot of money, for example, it's very difficult to get in this problem. So, if the player is first time in Greece, you have to take care of this. Second, about the game. We have more difficult defense because we play zone. So sometimes when you come from America and you learn, different types of basketball, man to man, one by one, a lot. You have to be patient to understand the setup in defense. Because if you don't understand the setups and then some different manipulation, it's very difficult to you to get in the spirit of the game. For example, it's more the meters of the game less. If you're going to take 3-point shot, if you don't care about, you touch a line, you are out. The system, you know, is, and except that, is in the European basketball, the ball is a lot of around. It's not like, you know, take the ball and go transition all the time. So you have to use, it's a lot of training. And maybe in 2-3 months, you are out of your water, you know, to use. And everybody saying, what is good player? It's not good player, you know, it depends. If you make patience and put yourself to the others, you can make it. For example, I say a player, AC Law.
Oh, AC Law. Yeah, okay.
He was a very important player for the
Yeah.
He can, you know, he put himself in the system. He don't say, oh, come on, American plays. And the other thing is very important is that, you know, in NBA, when you lost, it's not so important like Europe, because EuroLeague, they press a lot for victory. And NBA is not so much like Europe, you know, and the mentality of the players is different. You have to change these things. Or you remember one American comes in now Frieden. It's very good shot, but it's have different way of the game.
So my question is, what about the coaches there? Is it different? So understanding, so, you know, my players go over there understanding the coaches, the culture, where the coaches are different. Would they be able to fit in with, you know, speaking the different languages? Is it would everyone?
No, they don't have problem about to speak because, you know, Greece, they have a lot of coaches outside of Greece. They have high level.
Yeah.
For example, Maccabi now have a Greek coach. Maccabi Israel is a big team.
Yeah.
CSKA have a Greek coach. Person is very strong. So the level of the knowledge of the Greek trainers is high. But the point is about the mentality that they see the coach from the American to Europe, you know. This is the problem. They press, you know, the problem is that I see America, the trainer is not so in the bench, you know, so much like Europe. In Europe, they start to press you all the time because they have press. The crowd is more hard, especially in Greece. If you lost, for example, the derby in Greece, everybody has a problem. If you go out to your football for a coffee, they see you, they say all the time, they say to you, well, this guy, why you lost, why you don't say goal, and you go out. We are crazy, you know, about it. Not like America. If you don't live that, you say, what you say, this guy? I'm professional. We are crazy, you know, Mediterranean mentality. Blood is like the game. It's like that.
Understood. Gotcha.
But you know, you have for me, if you say set a player here, and I'm close to you, I try to show him something to help him to use more reason. 2 months, sometimes depends the character. 2-3 months in the start, you know, you need to use the different type of the game, the different type of the everyday of the player, you know, the routine you need. But the things that is the big difference is, look, the big difference is that the American player, for example, if you have good shot, they take the ball and they shot. They don't make the way the system. And you sometimes you have people tell you, what is the system? What is the system? This is the argument all the time. With the players.
Wow.
It's more individual.
Okay. I got it.
You get okay?
Understand.
They start from a small place.
Yeah. Understand. Definitely. And and that's what we have here. It's just this completely different system. So a lot of people, when they go over there to these different countries, these different countries to play basketball, to go to your country to play basketball, it's a culture shock. It's like, wow, this is different. And then a lot of people can't stay because they'll call me, the agent, and be like, hey, I can't stay here. Send me somewhere else. But it's all about your mindset when you go over there. You go over there, you got a job to do. You got to make sure that you stay out and just keep your eyes on the target. And
for me, it's more easy experienced players to come in Europe and play from more. Maybe the college league is more close to Europe about mentality. So sometimes some guys from college come without to have big names, and they make bigger career from the start. Come from NBA to Europe and get a big contract.
Exactly.
I was one player comes to Greece, try to not to say this. They come Panathinaikos Dominic, one of my favorite players, Dominic Wilkins.
Oh, Dominic Wilkins,
yes.
The Atlanta Hawks. What you know about Dominic Wilkins over there, Panos?
Was the best of competition about the shot. The competition of
yeah, it was dunk contest, correct.
One of my favorite players.
Oh wow, I did not know that. That's something new.
Really, I wish one time to speak with the guy. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he was really good. He was really good.
Now is he coaching something?
He's actually working with the Atlanta Hawks in some degree. I think broadcasting or something like that. He's working with the Atlanta Hawks. Works very close with them. So
it's like a legend.
He's a legend for the Hawks. Yes, he's a legend. Yep,
he comes in and take one European trophy and yes, before close to in 90s, the end of the 90s.
Oh, really?
In Panathinaikos, I remember that.
He came to Greece and won a trophy?
Yes, he plays 2 years in Panathinaikos.
Oh, wow. And another question, how big is a name? Giannis is from Greece. I mean, how big of a name is he over there for y'all? Like he's very.
He's very big. But when he goes from here, it's not so big. In America, large his name.
Yeah, his name is very large in America.
Yes, because I think he finds the home. They fit a lot the games he plays with the NBA. Skills, stats, physical game, like this. There's one more big player coming. One more, my favorite player. He died before some years. Roy Tarpley.
Who?
Roy Tarpley.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who you're saying.
Roy Tarpley.
Roy Tarpley?
Tarpley.
I don't know. Man, maybe got me.
No. Again, Tarpley.
Yeah, who is that? I don't.
He was one playing big, very big player. Tall like you, 5. He played 5. He moves. He plays in in Greece have big name. Also, one more. Berry.
I don't know that one.
No, you don't know it. There's one before 10 years close. He comes to Olympiacos, the best sixth player of NBA. I forget his name now. He was the best sixth player, of NBA. They say in the sport, Come on, he take 5 million a year contract there. Now they don't have so much money. Before 50 years, yes. Now, no.
Okay.
I forget the name. Not Chambers.
Yeah, you got me on that one, man.
I forget the name.
You got me on that one.
I forget the name. But he was very good player, but he don't have good shot. Drive good, defense. Very. I sent you message when I was sending message.
Okay, is he out of Greece?
No, he come and play before 10 years.
So, but ask you a question. So what now what are you working on right now to better your business?
Yes, now I collaborate with my friend, he's a soccer agent. So sometimes I get involved with the players that we have, different levels, And I have some cooperation with two of best players in soccer plays on the campus. Make sometimes personal massage with them.
Okay.
And some talents. And I opened my vision, my cooperation with the women's volley this year, basketball women, except soccer, and basketball men, and in judo. I forget something in judo. Yes, it's very interesting. Small boys, 15, 16. Because they make hard training, and I wait to get again because the last month with the quarantine, I was ready to go to the European Center of Massage in France, Nice. All was prepared to find sponsors, but the virus put a break. So we lost tickets, money, all like that. And it was important because they put the category sport massage there. So I was from the favorites, take medal. Now they changed. The guy that did make it tell me, they put it 25 September, 26, 27. If we are good, have money here, we go.
You gotta do it. Gotta do it. Well, Panos, hey, it was excellent being on this live.
You like it, okay?
Loved it, brother.
Larry King.
It was exciting. It was definitely more
information. Yes.
Thank you for letting me know some things, and we just gotta keep our vision up, and for the people that that has the vision of doing what I do, what you do, or just becoming better athletes in their sport. they just make sure they stay in tune to what they have and stay in tune to the vision. And, everyone, and keep your eyes on the prize and understand the tortoise and the hare and things of that nature. And,
What is your... you plan to come in Greece? You tell me you can come in Greece for business.
Soon as the pandemic breaks, we get a little bit of clear understanding. Of course, I'll be there after the draft. I'll definitely be up there. But I'll come up there. We can get some business things done, and as far as contacts, anybody I need to meet and stuff up there, and we'll get this thing done, man. We'll definitely do that, and I would love to talk to some of your younger players and players that have a vision, and talk more to them. And soccer and basketball, no matter what, we could just help them out have the vision.
Maybe you organize some camp here. Maybe you will find
I would love to.
With some other academy, maybe some camp.
Yeah,
I give you ideas.
I would love to, and I can do it with your soccer agent friend. We can develop something that can just help the people in Greece. We always gotta look for something for it, bring happiness. It's not all about the money. The money will come, but just bring happiness for it and motivation to people or something.
Of course, it's about to help people. That's the most important.
Most important. So, Panos, I'm about to log out here, man. Appreciate
Thank
you for everything, and I'll talk to you soon.
No problem. I hope to meet you, me, and Dominique, the same company.
It will happen, man. Hey, when I get to Greece, man, you gotta, we gotta show me some of that. Show me some of those things, the historic stuff that I want to see, man.
Of course. This is easy.
All right.
You have patience. You have a lot to see.
All right, brother. Thank you, and peace
No problem.
out. All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Δυστυχώς δεν ήταν καλός ο ήχος. Ήταν απογοήτευσή μας αυτή. Δεν ξέρω τώρα πώς ακούστηκε. Αλλά εγώ το ευχαριστήθηκα. Δεν ήταν καλός ο ήχος, δυστυχώς. Και δεν βγάλαμε αυτό που θέλαμε. Γάμο το. Ευχαριστούμε όσους ακολουθήσανε. Θα το βάλω τώρα, αλλά ελπίζω